What's going on, Dragon Ballers? We're here at GenCon Day 2. I played in both tournaments yesterday and today. Top 32 yesterday with Cell Surge. Today, though, top 8 with the deck. You guys know by now. Go on, Icarus. I love this deck. I'm happy to say I was the first person that, pretty much put on the map. And at today's tournament, it was so popular. Like, it was really, really popular. Top 8 was a lot of Go on Icarus. But anyways, I think my build was very different than a lot of other people's. We actually played like a lot of bomb cards, and we'll kind of go through that in the video. So you guys know the leader by now, but basically what you want to make sure you do is whenever you're ready to awaken, attack, draw a card, awaken, and then combo your monster. That way you're getting 4 draws, and then leader activate main, bring your monster back, get another draw. It's just super, super good, obviously. So with that out of the way, we'll get into the main deck. So firstly, of course, we have 4 Zamasu, the Eliminator. So I think it's just important to say that obviously this card's super, super strong, but this card is a format-defining card. This card, Soul Striker is so popular, but this just puts them so far behind because they really can't cast their unison until 5 as long as you have 2 energy open. So this card really does define a format, which is kind of insane. You just threaten it, and they can't play a unison because if they do, they just literally wasted their turn. So this card is so insane. Of course, we're playing the Bojack package, but now the question is, like, do you play the hit combo card to rival your stuff, or do you play the whole Bojack line? And we went with the Bojack line. I was testing this for a while. My most recent profile list in the Patreon had this engine. We're also playing 2 of the old Arrival Bojack for 10 total. But yeah, I went with this Bojack because sometimes having 2 blue energy is super important, and you don't really play other check lands besides Zamasu's, and you do not want to charge Zamasu's for the most part. You want to be charging some other sort of check land. So you really want to be charging this, which is why we're playing this package. Otherwise, it would be 4 hit rapid movement and 2 Goku hit, but the fact that the second blue energy is so important, that's why we're doing that. And anyways, the next one we got to go to is one that I was sort of iffy about, and that's Rose Goku Black. The card is so insane, but like obviously space reasons, we are playing 52 cards, which actually in this format is pretty good because you're playing so many extended drawn out games that you need you need to not mill yourself out, basically, not deck yourself out. And mill is popular as well, so that's important. But yeah, this guy is so insane. Like Obuni for blue-yellow, but spawns 4 blockers and untaps energy guaranteed. It's not like Obuni where you have to hit the top card of the deck. So this card, absolutely insane. Shout out to my teammate Justin Rios for strongly recommending it. I'm really glad he did. And then one of mainboard Frost Deadly Poison. Bringing this card back, this card is so insane. Like I was kind of questionable about how it would do, but like in testing it was great. And throughout the day, just like stopping Bojack, stopping Fu Shrouded, because like you're not blue, right? So you don't have the trunks to stop Fu Shrouded. This was so, so important and so good all day. People did not see it coming, which is also another great thing. Moving into the mono yellow, 4 Gohans. Of course, you got to play it. I was contemplating going with 3, but you just need to see it by your turn 3, which is usually when you're going to awaken. And besides that, seeing extra copies is not bad, because like if they kill your one on the field or whatever, you just have basically 4 more super combos essentially. And for super combos, we are playing 4 Krillin. I think at this point, Krillin is way better than Zamasu for the format. Like, people are going tall, not really super wide. And people do go wide, but you have power of a Super Saiyan for that. And just cycling through your deck, getting rid of dead 10Ks, dead extra cards is so important. Some people play 1 Zamasu. I don't feel a need for it, but you can do that, of course. 2 Mecha Freezer Robotic Repose. So in previous lists, I mentioned I don't play Nimbus because I always want to be in the combo step. And that's still true for the most part. But this card being 1 cost for the most part and not having a discard cost is really important. So this is really good at 2. 1 Goku Absolute Annihilation. I wanted to play more, but I cut it because of my teammates' suggestions. It is really awkward to cast it against blue because if you cast it on 3 and you're tapped out, that means they're safe to play their unison because you're not showing 2 open for Zamasu. So the 1-of actually was clutch. I actually played it more late game when I needed to turn off like Galactic Busters or Final Flashes, stuff like that. It was really good. And now here's one of the really hot techs of the deck. Shout out to Scott who's taking the video, who let me borrow these. Frieza Divine Transformation. So this card was so insane. Deflect, so it's great against blue. Play it, wipe their board, ignoring, not ignoring barrier, but wipe their board of everything in rest mode. And then if you attack with it, they counter, so D-Magic or Hatch, whatever. You lock 2 cards for a full turn. Like, just the board wipe was insane, the Deflect Bomb was insane. Oh, and also, it can't be removed by skills, which was so good against blue because blue unison couldn't deal with it. Like, you play this against blue, they cannot get rid of it. It's so good. 2 Whis was another main deck tech for Soul Striker because it was very popular. I did play against 2 Soul Strikers today, so that was pretty clutch. Two Apes. This card is pretty decent against aggro, but honestly not so great against all the other mid-range decks. So I could see actually not maining this and just sideboarding it. I could definitely see a world where that's possible. One Cooler for the baby hatches, for the Hatchiacs, just anything that's super negate heavy. The card is super clutch. This is really just like the cards you play for yellow no matter what. One Cooler, one Bergamo. Yeah, it's limited to one, but when you resolve it, it's so ridiculous. Like, you really want to time it to where you can resolve this and your board is wide enough to just put infinite pressure on, and if they're tapped out, you're going to be in a really good spot. Two Trunks Unison. This is one that I was really iffy on because I really like Vegeta Unison of Fury as like a win condition, but against blue, Unison of Fury just doesn't do enough. Tapping one for them to just like D-Magic or Galactic Buster, it just doesn't do enough. This card, again, with the board wipe was absolutely insane. The +0, just like sniping Bojacks. Some of my Soul Striker opponents just played Zeno Super Combo. The +0, killing it, was super value, incredible. I almost want to play 3, to be honest. I don't know, maybe I will in the future. 4 Power for Super Saiyan. I did not want to go lower on this card. This card is just so ridiculous. No matter if you have an offense or defense, it was just so good. And we are playing 3 Final Flash. At first, I didn't want to main this card, but it's just incredible. Like 15k combo power, negating skills is still super relevant. This card is absolutely ridiculous. And then for the rest of the deck, we have 3 Bean. Only 3 because like the way the format is, there's not a lot of aggro, so 4 Bean is not really necessary. Bean helps you extend offensively, which is great, but you're just really kind of playing a mid-range, but more so a control deck now. So 3 Bean was fine. There's 4th in the sideboard, which we'll get to the sideboard in a sec. The Kai Secret Rare, the best Secret Rare you can play in this deck, like hands down. 1 Champa, 1 Shroud, which unfortunately I actually didn't cast all day. It's not amazing against blue because they can Trunks it, but I figured I'd put this in for anything else that was really grindy. And then 1 Fate, which of course is incredible. We'll go into the side deck real quick, guys. So a lot of the side deck was just finishing ratios of cards I needed. So the second Frost for anything that would play like a Fu Shrouded, or the blue decks as well, like stopping their Bojack effects from bottom decking my board was great. The 3rd Riposte for aggro. I didn't really play against aggro, so that was not really needed, but it would be good against aggro. 4th Bean for when I really wanted to extend or defend against aggro. I did bring this in against Soul Striker though, because that matchup gets so grindy. You got to combo a lot of things. So Sense of Beam was really good for that. Another card for Soul Striker, the Whis. Cooler could come in for Soul Striker, but honestly, for the most part, I left 1 Cooler in the main. I might change this from the sideboard, to be honest. Deciding in too many cards against Soul Striker was kind of a problem, but moving on, we had 3 Unison of Fury. This was for like Gogeta Xeno mostly. And like against red and green, where they're not super manipulative of energy, you could tap them out and usually kill them with this. So that was what this was really for. But I only played against like blue for the most part, so that was that. 3 Deborahs for hand control. Luckily, I didn't come across it, but this deck draws so many cards that you have a fine hand control matchup. It's not a big deal. 2 Jirens for Android 17 turning the tide decks, of course. And here's another spicy one, the last card of the video. 2 Android 17/18 Bringers of the Apocalypse. So deflect triple strike, again, great against blue. Permanent, if you have a skillless in play, which your leader does for free, it becomes a 4-drop instead of a 5-drop. When you play it, you can negate the skills of whatever battle cards and unison cards you want on the board. So you can do all your opponent's field, which is great against blue unison, like negate their unison, take 3 markers off, or negate their unison and go for game, whatever. And you can also choose some of your own guys to negate. So let's say I have just like whatever, a Jiren, maybe like a Raider's Warcry in the field. And his other effect, activate main, place him in the drop, and then restand 2 of your skillless cards. So if I made like this and like another card on my field skillless, I could restand them and attack again, which was just so insane. So overall, guys, that's the deck profile. Again, I think this is a really different version of Gohan Icarus. I got to shout out the team. We're just the team right now. I don't know. We'll figure that out in the future. But shout out to the team. Shout out to Scott Dashy. Shout out to Bandai and Dave for hosting the tournament. It was awesome. Shout out to all you guys, man. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys that watch the videos, and each and every one of you guys that came up to me and let me know you like the channel. I really appreciate it. But thank you guys. We'll see you next time.